Hello friends, hello and welcome. Welcome to this moment with myself, Jennifer Tarot Spiritual Guidance. And today we have a tarot message, a life guidance message to guide us and direct us in this day, on this moment through life. And we have our reading today for June 16th to 17th, 2019. However, this reading truly extends to you whenever you listen to this. So it is not limited by time and space. It is unbounded by our earth-made human rules. So today's reading and session is about intuition and direction and following your clarity and the direction of your inner guidance. In the past few days and even in the last week, there has been a clear message from the cards, from source, from our higher self to pay attention, notice, and realize the messages that your intuition, that your inner guidance is giving you. Because for some reason it seems like we easily ignore that voice, we easily ignore those impulses, perhaps because you do feel like it's necessary to take the time out to not act, or to just act in a way that is not fully aligned and from a space of thoughtfulness and peace, tranquility, and from your higher self, in integration with your full self, with everything that we are, because our earth mind, our beingness is exposed to so much information and data from the world around us, which is not necessarily conducive all the time to that sense of well-being, that awareness of goodness and harmony and peace of mind and inner calm, which is inevitable because the world is as it is. But the world is actually what we're reflecting. So consider how what you've been thinking and feeling on the inside these days may reflect a deeper voice that reflects the ego consciousness from not a negative perspective, but from the mindset or attitude of inquiry and curiosity, and you being fully open to noticing the yin and the yang and the black and white, the duality that is within you, the good and the bad, the nice person and the unkind person, the mean girl or the mean boy inside of you that says negative things, whether to yourself or about others, versus that kind, caring, and compassionate being that is the voice also within you. And I think, or I suppose, that ultimately that's why we have been exposed to that image of the good angel and the bad angel kind of giving us two messages on each shoulder. So consider which shoulder seems to be heavier. Which one are you paying more attention to? Because it's not about denying the reality of that negative voice or that mean person inside, but about facing it with wisdom and an openness to understanding, and from a higher standing ground of compassion and acceptance. Because when we send love to that negative space within us and that negative consciousness, we realize that this is also a part of God, and it's also a part of the Creator, whatever your faith is. And even in that difficulty or tension, it reflects a divine consciousness and a divine creativity and a reason for being, because everything really just has a reason for being, and everything is just so, because that is how it is. And this is the ultimate culmination of life creation as we know it in this very moment right now. So this is really, as Abraham Hicks says, the leading edge. So what is our card lineup? The card lineup starts with blindness, or pretending to not see, pretending that we are blind or tied up. And as we see with the Eight of Swords, the figure is almost like a damsel in distress, where she is covered up and her eyes are bound. She is wrapped up in some cords or strings or rope, but if you look closer, you'll see that it looks actually quite loose, the binding. It's not that strong at all, and it seems like it could even slip off of her, given her draped robe and the way that that person is attired. And it can be a man or a woman. It just, at first glance to me, it looks like a female, but that's probably because I have my own, perception of figures, masculine, feminine. And it is also surrounded by these 8 swords. And the swords in general in the tarot reflect our thoughts, our logical mind, our thinking, our basically that, our thinking, our thoughts, our sharp-mindedness. And here, the figure is sort of mired in murk and mud and dirtiness, right? Like when they're trapped in the mud or in a bottomless pit, but the figure is still on the surface showing their toes. So they're not submerged, they're not helpless, and they're not dying. They're just tied up in their own consciousness. This person is just reflecting how you may be limiting yourself and tying yourself down by your own imposed restrictions and limitations. And consider where this extends in your life in terms of the most meaningful areas at this moment in time for you, which is shifting and changing over time. So at this moment, where are you limiting yourself in terms of your thinking? Because it's only our thoughts that limit our experience in life. What we're thinking and perceiving about a person, how we are projecting onto them or labeling them or labeling a situation where you say, I can't do that because of X, or that's not possible for me because of X, or even making assumptions of how it will probably turn out or what will probably happen. We don't know actually what is probably going to happen. We can have a sense of likelihood based on past experience, but that by no means indicates that it's absolutely, definitely going to be the case. Otherwise, there would be absolutely no certainty about it, and it would just be a given. It wouldn't even be a consideration. So that is really critical for us at this moment in time in your life, is to consider, where are you limiting yourself in your thinking? Where are you tying yourself down and binding yourself and actually choosing not to see, pretending that you're blind? And indeed, it's followed by the High Priestess, reversed. So this is really indicative, because this High Priestess is associated with your intuition, with your inner world, with being calm and passive and going inside, introspection. And in this case, it may be guiding you to turn more within and not pay so much attention to the physical limitations of the world around you. So if you're feeling financial lack or professional limitations or relationship, romantic restrictions, or like you're not getting far, you're not getting as far as you want to, or it's not happening, whatever it is, it's not happening. Consider where you just need to turn more inwards and not face the reality so much, because the reality as you see it is only what you see based on your limited or expanded, vast thinking. So as much as you can think a limited thought, you can think an open, vast, and spacious thought. And in that vastness and spaciousness, you allow more possibilities to unfold. So the key is to consider, where are you limiting yourself? Hi, Karen. Where could you be limiting yourself in that area that really matters to you? And truly taking the blinders off and not limiting yourself, my friend, because the world outside can try to the world really doesn't do anything. The world is what it is. It's simply how we are choosing to interpret it and identify it and label it. So again, darling, please don't limit your own application of your own labels, because you are in control. This is you making up the language to define the world around you. And really, you have to let yourself go deep within and reflect that truth that only you possess, that is God created and God inspired. There's a reason why you want it, and the reason is based in love. Whatever that reason is, it is totally based in love. Ask yourself, which of my motivations is based in love? It is not the superficial motivation. It could be, for instance, I want to lose weight, but the real love-based motivation is you want to love yourself. You want to be happy. You want to love yourself as you are, but you can't see that yet, because when you don't really appreciate yourself as you are, then you don't have that spaciousness and that field of vision to know, where is my love coming from? Where is the love? Because love is the power that causes change, not aggression, not forcing or obligation. It's only love, which is equal to spaciousness and non-attachment, freedom to choose and freedom to be. Hi, Karen. Hello, Karen. Thanks for joining. So the key here is to go within and trust your intuition. It's no longer necessary, and it never was necessary, to ignore it. It is the fact that you know what you want, and you think you don't, but you know deep down what you want. And this is where that inner spaciousness comes into place, and removing the limitations that you're putting on yourself in terms of your potential, the capacities for you, what's possible. Please, darlings, no need to limit yourself. Allow yourself to be expansive and spaciousness. And coming from a space of love, from a perspective of love and an intention of compassion and harmony and balance, the world will flow. The world will always flow, but you will flow with the universe. That is the key. I would like our intention, and I intend for mine to be, I want to be in the flow of universal wisdom and love and consciousness. I want to be in the flow, because when you're in the flow, things just unfold naturally, joyfully, easily, fruitfully, satisfactorily for you, and that benefits everything. But of course, this is your life, so we are thinking about you and what's the benefit for you, and thinking of win-win situations, outcomes, scenarios, potential pictures, making the movie in your own mind with possibilities unfolding. All right? And not letting this, what I'm saying, be just blah, 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 but applying it in moment to moment. Like, what is my potential in this case? What is possible for me beyond what my limits are, or what I think they are? Because remember, we're only limited by our capacity to imagine, by our capacity to think. But the whole field and realm is vast and open and available to anyone who can tap into it, that quantum field of creativity and possibility. As Deepak Chopra says, infinite possibilities unfold, and synchronicity, synchro-destiny, aligning you with your destiny more and more, but that you know it, not that you feel like a helpless victim at the whim of whatever that be's, maybe luck. Okay, and finally, we are finishing up with our Knight of Swords. So this is a knight, someone who is dashing forward, who is decisive, who's taking action, who is sort of like the executor, but like taking action, representing the values of the higher order, of the higher power, and seeing yourself as that energy and enthusiasm forward. And if you don't feel you have that yet, that desire, that passion, that gusto, know that you can ask the universal consciousness for it to infuse you and imbue you with that divine, powerful, pranic energy or that chi or that life force, and moving forward. Follow your intuition. We must follow our intuition. And if you feel that it's not yet finely developed, then ask for that fine-tuning, ask for that development. And who do you ask it from? Where do you turn to? You ask from your God, from your higher self, from your unique perspective of connecting with your angels, with your whatever you believe in, with God. Because God is always listening, the universe is always listening, the messages are always coming. But we want to be positioned in a place of divine receptivity. Like when you're playing a basketball game, you want to be in just the right spot so you can catch the ball when it's passed to you, and then you can dunk it, right? You can just aim it and shoot it, whether it's a three-pointer or you're on the line and it's go time. But no pressure, but it's your game. You're your partner, you are the net, you are the ball, you are everything based on how you are thinking. So that's it for now, is to follow your intuition and to consider where you might be limiting yourself and to not fence yourself in, okay? We want to open our borders. We want to expand our horizons, going beyond borders or being without frontiers. This is what defines humans, right? We want to push the boundaries. We want to achieve more, have more, get more, all materialistic. But what about focusing on pushing your own internal spiritual boundaries, or your own logical boundaries? Because when you declare something is so in your mind, then it becomes so. So reflect on how the reality that we're living is being constructed just by virtue of how you choose, how you are seeing it, because you may not even be consciously choosing that perspective. And finally, I asked for a clarifying card, and we got ourselves the 9 of Wands. And this one for me represents overcoming, coming far. You've made it so far. You've been through the battles. You've been scarred. You have the battle wounds. You know what it means to survive and even to thrive. But it may not always feel like you're succeeding. It just feels like maybe a constant uphill battle. But this is important to be aware of, and just know that even in this figure, we can shift our consciousness and remove those barriers, okay? Know that you've already come far, and we don't have to struggle anymore if you're willing to release it. Let something go. That's one thing that I'm being guided to, is to release so many responsibilities or duties. Don't take on more than you absolutely must. And do only that which brings you happiness. Do only that which brings you joy and well-being. Only that which truly reflects you at your highest and you at your greatest self. That's it. Bring in only those people and those opportunities to reflect your highest light and your highest self. Because at the end of the day, this is all a spiritual journey. And we're just passing through. We won't take anything with us, not even the legacies, not even the buildings, not even the monuments. Nothing will go with us when we turn to dust. We are passing through. We are always passing through. This is the cosmic dream. And so consider, how can you make your dream, how can you make this movie for you the happiest movie possible? And what is your happy ending? And again, don't limit yourself by your own thinking, but do allow yourself to explore different possibilities. Wouldn't it be nice if, or what would it be like if, or how could that actually work out in my favor? Or how can things actually work out even better than I can imagine? And surely enough, I assure you, you will definitely receive the guidance. You will definitely receive the creativity messages. You will definitely have more inspiration as soon as you ask and you're truly open to it from a space of love and open-mindedness. Keep an open mind for the good stuff. And that's it for now. So thanks for joining, darlings. God bless you. You're always blessed anyways. Stay blessed and stay happy and joyous. Follow our intuition. And even if you think it doesn't matter, it does matter. You are shifting energy and quantum field in the universe when you take an action. And when you make it from love, and when you make it from connection to your divine soul, to your inner being, to your heart, everything is right with that, and everything is working out. Everything is going to be just fine, and it is fine now. So finally, to close this session, ask yourself, are you okay now? Are you okay now? Yeah. So thanks for tuning in and sharing in this message for life guidance. Remember your soul, remember your spirit. We are energy and you are love. So I love you. Thank you for tuning in. And this is goodbye for now from Jennifer Tarot, Spiritual Life Guidance. Bye-bye and see you. Namaste.